is the total silence? You've got another protest next to us here, a lady called Nazanin. Nobody's helping her either. She's a British citizen. What is going on in this country? The 67 to 70 Biafran war, it wasn't a war. It was a genocide. And the UK was complicit in genocide. The UK is complicit in genocide now, today. It's happening again. Yet why do we not hear about it? You go 20 yards away, the BBC cameras are there, the ITV cameras are there. Why does the BBC and ITV not cover Biafra? If what was going on in Nigeria was happening in any other Commonwealth country, it'd be all over our news. So why is it not reported? It's not reported because the British government are still looting all the resources in Nigeria. Biafra on its own would be a world leader in any way you can think of, one of the richest countries on earth. But the UK can't let that happen. Because if the UK lets that happen, the resources, of which all the oil that it gets now is given free. How can you put oil above thousands and thousands of people's lives? Slaughtered on a daily basis. Catriona Lang, who works for this office, is fully aware of it. What's her response? Her response is to go on Twitter and start dancing with the Fulani terrorists who are committing these atrocities. How is that right? Ask yourself a question. How can we stay silent when this is happening? You can turn a blind eye. You can remain silent. You can do nothing at all. But don't ever turn around and say you didn't know what was going on, because you know exactly what's going on and you're doing nothing about it. It is absolutely shameful. Boris Johnson, what's he doing? He's doing nothing. Buhari is dead. Buhari died in London in February 2017.
That's right.
He died in London in 2017. So why do you still put this charade out that Buhari's coming to London? Buhari's coming for medical treatment. The man died in 2017.
Yes.
And when that comes out, seriously, the UK will look the biggest fools on earth. The death certificate's there. It's all written.
That's right.
There's proof he died in London. He's buried in Saudi Arabia. And yet you keep that quiet as well. How can you keep quiet that a president of a country died 4 years ago and you're still portraying him coming here for hospital treatment? Is that not a farce?
Cover up.
It's a total cover-up. A total corrupt cover-up by a totally corrupt government. But when Biafra comes, then we will see who laughs. Because it won't be the UK. All hail Biafra.
All hail Biafra!
tameye. So maybe he go tameye. Orani ala tameye. Alawalama, igondarima, alawalama, igondarima, igondarima, alawalama, igondarima, baby alawalama, So me all me, but it might be going to me. So me all Mama. Why you do me so? Boss, can you tell me? Why you do me so? Boss, can you tell me? Why you do me so? Boss, can you tell me? Why you do me so? Gonna put me on a job. Stay waiting for the master. What can you tell me? Stay waiting for the master. What can you tell me? What can you tell me? Why you do me so? What can you tell me?
is over to you.
Thank you, Mazi Jonathan, and good evening from here. Am I coming out clear, please?
You are Mazi. Go on.
Thank you so much. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and good night to all of you great Biafrans. My name is Mazi Chika Edoziem. I come from Ihe Oma. Ihe Oma is in Olo province of Biafra land. And by the grace of Chukwu Abiyama, I serve the indigenous people of Biafra and the Directorate of State as the head of directorate. Today being the 22nd day of November 2021, I want to begin by assuring the great IPOB family worldwide, in general, and lovers of freedom and friends of Biafra, that the IPOB leadership, we are doing everything that can be done. We are leaving no stone unturned to ensure that we are not distracted from our objective and that we do not lose focus. And all of us know what our objectives are at this very moment. And the talk on that is the release, unconditional release of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra in the Mazi Chika from the dungeon and incarceration of the Zoological Republic of Nigeria, currently being held by the Gestapo DSS. Biafrans, we must continue in our prayers for the health and safety of our leader, because at this moment, this battle is more spiritual than anybody can imagine. But be rest assured that, as Oyendu always says, in the end, we shall win. In the end, Biafra must come, and in the end, it shall all be to the glory of Chukwu Abiyama, who is at the helm of this very noble cause which we, his children, are pursuing. Let me inform Biafrans that very shortly, very shortly, the IPOB leadership will embark upon a massive installation of CCTV cameras across the cities and towns of Biafra. We know that the Zoo, Army, and the DSS, they have been going in the cover of the night to kidnap, to take away our people, irrespective of whether they are male or female, old or young. They do not care. They simply go in and kidnap those that they see and burn down the houses that are within their reach. We know that some of the times when these things happen, people will be either not around or they will already be sleeping. And this evil man will come under the cover of the night, commit their crime against humanity. And therefore, we are going to put in place instruments and equipment and devices that will afford us the opportunity to capture and all these atrocities, all these kidnappings going on in our land, and also to make sure that the activities of the Fulani-sponsored terrorists in our land who are in military uniforms, police uniforms, and under the cover of the DSS, that all the activities in our land are captured live for the world to see and for the world to understand that these men, they have come to destroy. They are the people behind what they have termed the unknown government. The DSS, they are the people who have brought in this unknown government into our land to continue the mayhem which they have been committing in our land. Also, in addition to this, our people must understand, if we can reflect back on the 10th of November at the court premises in Abuja, we should remember that a bloody attack took place right under the nose and watch of security personnel, the Nigerian security forces. But these individuals, they only watched, these security men, they watched and they did nothing. They did not act, because those who were doing this attack, of course, have received clearance. Those who are committing these evils upon innocent civilians whose only crime was that they came to the court to observe a trial of great importance, not only to Biafrans, but of course to humanity and mankind. And the zoo let loose their terrorist dogs upon these innocent people, while the security agencies or the security personnel and agents watched and looked on without interfering. As a follow-up to this, therefore, I am directing the Eastern Security Network operatives this evening to return to their respective bases in the forests of Biafra land, because duty calls. We have it on good. In the coming weeks is to engage in targeted killings of prominent sons and daughters of Biafra land. Their plan is to engage in targeted killings of prominent sons and daughters of Biafra land, and these they want to do through the instrumentality of the unknown government. And at the end of the day, they will be looking for whom to blame. And of course, as you all know, their attention will shift after committing the crime. After they have committed the crime, they will turn around to accuse the ESN as being the culprit. They will turn around and accuse the IPOB as being the perpetrators. Therefore, we must think ahead of them. And in consonance to that, all ESN operatives are asked and directed to return to their bases from tonight for them to do that for which Oyendu set them up. Biafrans, we are alerting our people with this directive to the ESN operatives to return to base, because anyone therefore seen operating as an unknown government on our land or operating in whatever nomenclature that they may choose, be informed that these are a creation of the Nigerian DSS. They were disappointed that they could not carry out their plan during the recently concluded Anambra election, because we know what they planned. We know, we have it on good authority. We have their map. We have their plan, what they set to do. And their disappointment that they could not carry that out has not deterred them from seeking avenues on how to make sure that their plan is materialized. But I can assure them that we are watching, and we will not allow Biafra land to be turned into a war zone. We will not allow our people to become coders to the Fulani terrorists that have been sent into our land to cause all this mayhem that we are seeing. The DSS, their deployment is still ongoing in so many states of Biafra land, and we are watching all their moves, and we will be informing Biafrans at the appropriate time what all these are made to achieve. But we are not going to let our guards down, for our responsibility is to ensure the safety of every Biafran and every person in our land, except those who have bad intentions against the people of Biafra. Whether you are a foreigner in Biafra land, be rest assured that your security is assured. As the security of Biafrans are assured in Biafra land, so also your security is as well assured. Our formidable ESN, that of course we know why they are set up. There is great work that you have to do starting from this very week. Therefore, all commanders must ensure that their operatives under them are in place, that they are in place and ready for the assignment that will be given to them going forward. Now, there is a very disturbing, very disturbing trend going on in Biafra land. Very disturbing. We have been hearing about our youths, our children being tempted or being pushed into becoming drug users, with this special emphasis on the one they called meta something. I don't really know the name, but I think they call it in our language. I can tell you on good authority, we, the Biafran people, it is not our culture to consume drugs. It is not our culture. Therefore, they are following a two-pronged approach, not only to kill our people physically by spilling their blood, they are also pursuing another agenda to useless those who they cannot lay their hands upon. In Biafra land, you will see the youths after schooling, after graduating, they do not have jobs. And we say, when a mind is idle, every form of evil goes into their mind. This is why they have introduced what was done in America in the 50s and 60s. When in the black community, drug was introduced by the CIA, and they knew why they introduced the drug into the black community. Crack and heroin and the rest of it. And we know what is happening to the black community from that period up to this moment. They have not been able to extricate themselves from the cause of drug addiction. This will not happen in Biafra land. Dealers in such drugs that is called Murumiri are hereby warned to relocate out of Biafra land or be ready to face a very dire consequences. If you are a dealer feeding our children with these drugs and you are in Biafra land, you better relocate from tomorrow, because Biafra land will not be a place for you. And I therefore want to use this opportunity to call on parents and guardians of our children and communities as well, that all of us have an enormous responsibility to partner with IPOB to ensure that we eradicate this scourge that has been introduced into our society to destroy the foundation, to destroy the fabric of our existence as a people. The sale of any form of hard drug is unwelcome in Biafra land. If you are dealing on this, don't say you are not warned. You have to relocate out of Biafra land, because the consequences you probably will not be able to tell it. Biafrans, I know many of you have been waiting and expecting and wondering what has become of our financial support to the great Eastern Net since the closure of the account, the fraudulent account that was opened by people who have different intentions and objectives than for the reason that that account was in the first place opened by this movement. I want to tell you that this evening we have finally received the approval from the highest command of this movement to make a new account available to Biafrans all over the world. To make a new account available to IPOB families worldwide, and to make a new account available to friends and lovers of the Biafran people who desire and who wish and who want to support our struggle for liberation and our struggle for independence. And of course, that support is the support that is to be given to the Eastern Security Network, who are doing great in our land. The account is as follows. the bank name, and this account is domiciled at JP Morgan Chase Bank. The account name is Biafra Freedom LLC. The account number is 759-800-660. I take it again. 759-800-680. 680, not 660. 680, I beg your pardon. And the routing number is 021-000021. Of course, this account information will be, put in a flyer and distributed through our usual channel through the continental reps, who will in turn make this account information available to every national coordinator and down to the list unit or zone that we have worldwide. Therefore, do not worry about taking the information down, because we will bring out a flyer, proper flyer, that will stipulate all the information that you require, and then this will be made available to Biafran families worldwide. But what you have to take from this evening, or what you have to take away this evening from this broadcast, among other things, is the fact that a new account where support for the Eastern Security Network can be channeled and should be channeled and must be channeled has been approved by the highest command of this great movement. And that account is domiciled at JP Morgan Chase Bank, United States of America. The account name is Biafra Freedom LLC. The rest information, like I said, will be made available properly to all the family worldwide. As from tomorrow, starting from tomorrow, all national coordinators, all continental reps, and every coordinator for that matter that has in his or her custody the support and contributions and funds that were raised for the support of Eastern Security Network shall begin from tomorrow to make sure that that fund gets into this account for the young men and women, the brave young men and women we have in Biafra land. They have jobs to do, and we must equip them properly. We must give them the logistics. We must give them what they need to carry out their functions efficiently and effectively. I have also this evening some announcements to make. Some very important announcements. IPOB in the USA, there are some new appointments for coordinators in the city of New York, in Florida, in California, and in Minnesota. And the appointment goes as follows. IPOB New York has a new coordinator, and the name and person of Archbishop Nicodemus Obi. The new IPOB New York State Coordinator is Archbishop Nicodemus Obi, and his deputy is Mazi Jeff Ojego. Mazi Jeff Ojego will deputize Archbishop Nicodemus Obi, and these New coordinators, they replaced the former coordinator named Mrs. Love Akobundu. Mrs. Love Akobundu is no longer the coordinator for IPOB family in the state of New York. In Florida, Mazi Joe Ndoka replaces Mazi Onyema Edoziem as the state coordinator. Mazi Joe Ndoka is hereby, from tonight, appointed the new IPOB Florida state coordinator, and he takes over from Mazi Onyema Edoziem. In California, we have also a new coordinator. Mazi Remi Ezonye becomes the new IPOB coordinator for California. Mazi Ezonye takes over from our current Pacific Coast Regional Coordinator. Our current regional coordinator, Mazi Chika, is replaced as California coordinator by Ezonye. Mazi Remi Ezonye will, of course, run the family in California, but Mazi Chika remains our Pacific Coast Regional Coordinator. Mazi Chika remains our Pacific Regional Coordinator for the Pacific Coast in USA. In Minnesota, we have Mazi Chukwudi Iwe Ajunwa as the new state coordinator. The new Minnesota state coordinator is Mazi Chukwudi Iwe Ajunwa, and he replaces Mazi Titus Jidofo. Mazi Titus Jidofo is, as from this night, no longer the coordinator for IPOB family in Minnesota state. Great Biafrans, our journey may be experiencing some challenges, as you may see, as you may observe, but you must be rest assured that freedom fighting does not come on a platter of gold. Sacrifices are being made by thousands and thousands of Biafrans worldwide. Sacrifices are being made by hardcore IPOB members all over the world, and especially those of us in Biafra land in the war front. We are all making great sacrifices. We are all putting efforts to ensure that our leader is unconditionally released. We are all making efforts to ensure that Biafra is restored sooner than later. But while we are doing all this, there cannot be any room for indiscipline, either in the IPOB structure or in the ESN hierarchy. There cannot be and there will not be any room for indiscipline. Everybody must understand that the enemy is around the corner waiting for an opportunity to pounce upon us. The enemy is around the corner waiting for an opening through which he will come in order to destabilize what we are doing. I have continued to warn, and I will continue to warn that nobody, that you must not allow yourself to be that conduit through which the enemy will attempt to penetrate into this noble cause. Because if that becomes the case, You and your generation shall live to regret that betrayal if it happens on your time or from your side. Therefore, I am encouraging and urging all of you to keep your eyes on the ball. The leadership is not resting on our oars. We are not resting. We are not resting in our efforts to ensure that our leader is back with us and in good health. We are not resting to ensure that this very noble cause that we have embarked upon shall all end in praises to the Almighty Chukwu Abiyama, and of course to the great Biafrans, to a joy that cannot be quantified, because on that day we shall dance in the street of Biafra to glorify Elohim, to glorify Chukwu Abiyama for his grace and mercies upon us. You must keep praying and supplicating to Chukwu Abiyama to guide and preserve our leader. We all must continue in our prayers, whether you're praying through the traditional way or you're praying through the modern way, I mean the Christian way, if I put it that way, or Judeo-Christian way. If you're praying through the Judeo-Christian way, continue. In fact, increase your prayer a little bit, a notch up. And if you're praying in accordance with our customs and traditions, do not relent, because heaven is hearing our prayers, I can assure you. Because the spirits that own Biafra land, they are fighting your battle, I can assure you. Therefore, we must continue to call upon Chukwu Abiyama and to call upon the spirits that own our land, that they will, of course, continue with us on this journey until victory is assured and until the flag of liberation and freedom is raised on the hallowed land of Biafra. And like I said, we will keep all of you updated in the coming days or so. There may be something very important that we will inform the Biafran people all about. But I don't want to raise your expectations at the moment, but I can tell you we are doing what we are called upon to do, in all truth, in all honesty, to make sure that we are victorious. Biafra for us is not just a name. Biafra is our heritage. Biafra is our identity. Biafra is what we are, and we are Biafrans. And it is only Chukwu Abiyama, the creator of heaven and earth, it is only him that we Biafrans worship and bow down unto. Not man, not what Chukwu created, and not what man made. And therefore, continue in ensuring that you do not lose your identity. We must continue to ensure that we do not lose our heritage. And we must continue to bow our heads and our knees unto Chukwu Abiyama. For me, from here, I want to say to you, good night and sleep well. Thank you so much.